Hey guys, in this video we're doing a 2.5-year update on the Sisu van build. Gonna go over what I liked about the build and most importantly what I did not like about the build. Let's dive in. 3 years ago, I was just a kid with a vision. In my 20s, childless, carefree, living life out on the open road. I had a vision for a van, but not just any van, a Sisu van. A van that would ruin all other vans for you. For 6 months, I grappled with her in the heat of the hot desert sun. In the beginning, people laughed at me. How dare I make a van of such questionable materials like wood? What are you, an idiot? Until finally, I prevailed. And she was born. And she was beautiful. Pristine fiberglass, glazed over a wooden body, like a delicate queen. And finally, I took her out on her maiden voyage. A quest so glorious, we broke so many laws, and I got her up over 100 miles per hour. But then, I got old, had a kid, moved into a house, stopped making videos, and well, here I am, so let's dive into the review and see what happens. 2.5 years later, let's go. Well, that was fast. 2.5 years have absolutely flown by since I've cut the roof off this van and started building this custom van topper. Now, in that time, I've driven the van just over 10,000 miles. I've taken her through deserts and mountains, forests and beaches, and the versatility of this vehicle has been simply amazing. I've used it for camping and exploring, but also a lot for towing different trailers and hauling building materials out to our property. Overall, she has held up very well to the diverse environments, with the exception of a few minor flaws that I will focus on in more detail here shortly. Structurally, this van has held up wonderfully to the elements over the years and has met every expectation that I have placed on it. The wooden framing was not at all a problem, as the fiberglass shell did exactly what I expected it to and provided more than enough strength for the topper. The bedliner paint held up nicely, and aside from a few imperfections here and there, it is still in great shape. Now this leads me to the sheathing, the one and only design flaw that I have observed over the years with this topper. Yes, OSB was a questionable choice to say the least when building a van topper. The one design flaw, however, did not come from using 2x4 framing, or from using OSB versus any other plywood product. The design flaw came from coupling the fiberglass shell to the plywood body without using any expansion joints. Basically, I'm calling this a design flaw because what I witnessed was that after enduring grueling changes in climate, specifically going from very high relative humidity to very low relative humidity over a long enough period of time, vertical cracks began to appear in 2 locations along the topper. Now these cracks would open up when I was in the desert, and they would close back up again if I was in a humid environment. They never measured more than 1/8 inch wide, but that was enough to cause some concern and let some water in. The fact is, wood and fiberglass expand and contract at very different rates. This is negligible over a short run of, say, a couple of feet. However, when you start to have very long spans of fiberglass glazed over wood, like the 14-foot front to back length of this topper, it starts to become a slightly larger issue. This is compounded particularly where 2 sheets of plywood join up. The cracks formed about 4 feet apart and exactly where I had plywood joints underneath the fiberglass. If I were to make a small adjustment on a future build, I would simply add in a few expansion joints over the top of the plywood butt joints. Most obvious version of this to me would be to simply use a long strip of aluminum flashing to cover up the plywood joints. This could give the fiberglass a bit of relief in these areas and avoid these stress concentrations that are created by the rapidly shrinking plywood. It has been an incredible journey being able to build this van topper and share my story with everybody out there who's been watching. But as my family has grown, we've simply outgrown this van. We now have 2 kids, a 1-month-old and a 2-year-old. And I've always said from the beginning that we weren't going to put a bench seat in the back. It's going to be a 2-seater only for safety reasons. So with that in mind, I've actually recently decided to give the van away to a beloved family member, my father. My dad is the one who instilled a love of the outdoors and a love of adventure, so I could think of no better person to receive this van than him. He recently retired, and he's been living in the van for the past 6 months. He built it out himself. I helped him put a solar system on it and a battery system and get a fridge installed, and he's doing great. So if you see him out there, be sure to wave hello. He's somewhere between Mexico and Canada. And Dad, just wherever you are, I hope the sun is warm, I hope the fish are biting, and I hope the van continues to run strong for you. And as for the future of this channel, I won't have a lot of future content on my build, but I am really curious to see what projects you guys have going on. So if you are currently building a van that you think is unique and innovative and something outside of the norm, please let me know. I'd love to collaborate and showcase your work and have you featured on this channel. So drop me a line at neil@sisuvan.com and I'd love to work with you. The Sisu van has always been about a lot more than just my build. It's a testament to what you can achieve with a little bit of grit and determination, and of course Sisu. Keep dreaming big, keep daring greatly with your builds, and continue to explore endlessly to your heart's content. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey with me, and I hope to see you in another video soon.